Hey guys, Deju22 here, and welcome to SmackDown. And this show is brought to you by the Sovereign LPers, Insomania Game and MuchGames.ca. And to kick off our show, we are going to have a Rumble, well, not for the gold, but rather for a shot at the gold. It's going to be for a minor championship. But it's going to be contested among 10 men, all of which are non-champions. And the one man that wins will get a shot at a championship, at a minor championship of their choice. Whether it be tonight or somewhere down the line if they're that patient. Well, introducing first, as we are live here in New Orleans, Louisiana, I give you the man who claims himself to be the Wrestling God. But he's more of a wrestling idiot. Well, actually, he's not an idiot. He's just a jerk. But nonetheless, I give you JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield. Although the fans love him here, but then again, they are very intelligent wrestling fans as far as John Bradshaw Layfield. I mean, alright, I'll be honest with you. His character may be a jerk, but the guy behind the character is an awesome guy. He's very knowledgeable. You know, he did not become a millionaire or a self-made millionaire by just being a fool. No, he knows what's up, and for that I can respect him for it. Of course, in character, he is a very entitled person, or one who feels that he should be entitled, but nonetheless, it is what it is, and well, oh my God. Well, here comes the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, and I'll tell you one thing. JBL, he weighs at least 305 pounds, and that's mostly in, you know, he's a big guy, big tall guy, and that weight is evenly distributed. And then you have Mark Henry, who's a bit short, but no shortage of power, that's for sure. In fact, they don't call him the world's strongest man for nothing. I mean, the man weighs 375 pounds. So, before you call him fat, don't call him fat. He's just big and strong. And he does keep himself in good shape. And he may be a bit slow considering, he's up there in age, but you cannot take away the fact that this guy is dangerous, as dangerous could possibly be. I mean, he's the man that stole a good friend of mine, Matt's LP Adventures idea for the Hall of Pain. And Matt, if you're watching this, there's the guy that stole your idea right there. So, but hey, I'm not going to tell Mark Henry that to his face. Are you kidding me? I mean, he'd kill me right there. Not to say I couldn't defend myself, but still, I wouldn't want Mark Henry to be that angry at me, But I give you the match where strength and toughness is king and Lady Luck is queen. It's the fact that it's the luck part comes when you draw a number. The higher the number, the later you enter, and the later you enter, the better your chances of winning. So these two men are going to start off here, and they're going to have to go through all of the competition and win just to get a shot. So they don't have much of a shot, but nonetheless, though, that's not going to stop these two men from trying, that's for sure. And John Bradshaw Layfield over the top rope and already in trouble. Who's up now? Well, it's Christian. And of course, Christian has had some beef with the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. But there's no doubt that Mark Henry and Christian have no love lost for each other. I mean, JBL is just, he doesn't really have much of a beef with Mark Henry or Christian, but still, he's just there. But he is there to win, so that's why he's there. Which is kind of weird, but anyway. Now Christian going right after John Bradshaw Layfield as he just gave him that big boot onto Christian. Of course, Christian's not going to back down, not one bit. And now Christian going to try to get rid of JBL. Oh, but JBL is a bit too tough at this point to get rid of at this time. Oh, but now it looks like both Mark Henry and Christian are going to go for it. And now here comes CM Punk. And he's had problems with Mark Henry as well as with John Bradshaw Layfield at different times in his career. As CM Punk now going to go after JBL. And it looks like Christian's going to go right after the World's Strongest Man. And the World's Strongest Man is just going to go in there and dominate against Christian, as he should. I mean, he's big and strong. And a back suplex on the JBL. Now, those two have had problems before in the past. Oh my goodness, here's a guy that has had problems with everyone in this ring, and that's Triple H. That no good son of a bitch. I'm sorry, I mean, I may respect the man behind the character, but that doesn't mean I like him. But still. And now Triple H, now being greeted by Mark Henry. Oh, and a massive headbutt onto Triple H. Yeah, when you have this many guys in the ring that hate you, you don't have much of a chance, but hey, you know what? Triple H has been in these situations before. He knows what he's getting himself into as he just lifts up the World's Strongest Man. Now, I know Triple H did not have his Wheaties today. He must have had some drugs or something. I don't know how, but he must have had some steroids before this match. Now we have LP Grotus, the Frog, and Triple H goes over the top rope, but he does not reach the floor, so he's still in, and he's back in now. And now it looks like LP Grotus, the Frog, is now going after JBL, who entered at number 1, which is to his advantage, and by him I mean Grotus, or Bruce 92. Oh, and a chicken wing slam onto Grotus. But then again, JBL is big. As Mark Henry going to try to get rid of CM Punk. Wow! Outgoes LP Grotus by JBL. I mean, Grotus just didn't last very long. I mean, Grotus has been on a losing streak. Which, you know, I really hope at some point he can break it. But at the rate he's going, it's not looking good, I will say that. So you still have the first 5 men in there. And Christian still in the ring. And a drop kick over the top rope goes JBL, but JBL stays in. Oh, but now Mark Henry attacks him from behind. And now Christian once again going after Triple H. All right, now who's gonna be up next? Well, here comes Rey Mysterio. Wait a minute. And a couple of knees right to the guts of Christian. But yeah, he's had problems with Triple H, Mark Henry, just about everybody except maybe Christian. And it looks like Mark Henry's been busted open. And how does... Wow, a GTS on a Mark Henry, sending him over the top rope, but yeah, definitely Punk must have had his Wheaties today. Yeah, and Christian was also busted open. And a kick right to the face of... Wow, and out goes JBL. And JBL is gone. And out goes Triple H. Triple H is out. Excuse me. And now, wait a minute. A GTS on a Rey Mysterio from CM Punk. But yeah, Christian is in worse shape. I mean, he is bleeding. But that's not going to stop him from competing in this match. But yeah, so far, now some of the big guys like Triple H and JBL and Mark Henry are gone. So that'll definitely open it up for these three men, and as well as for the remaining competition. And now here comes the newcomer, Magic Zenith. Oh, and already met by Rey Mysterio. And CM Punk stayed in. He's in. And now CM Punk gonna fight back against Christian. As Magic Zenith now goes after Rey Mysterio. Now, Punk, he threw Christian over, but Christian still comes back in. And we're going to find out who's up next. Oh, it's the Great Khali. And out goes Christian as well as Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio's gone, as is Christian. Oh, but look who's left. Here comes the Great Khali. And if you remember last time, the Great Khali competed against two men, which were his adversaries, and while he was able to beat one, he couldn't beat the other. So you can only imagine how pissed off he is, and he's definitely going to take it out on, well, he's not going to take it out on Magic Zenith because he's gone. But good try against Magic Zenith. It's just that, you know, Punk is just, he's just a pro. You know, CM Punk he's been in the top of the mountain before, he knows what it takes. So it was only natural that he, you know, would lose to Punk, but I'm sure with more experience, Magic Zenith will do much better and will probably win a match like this. And out goes CM Punk, and it's over. Or is it? No, it's not over. There's still more competitors left. Who is it? Well, it's Exceeding Shadow. And it seems to me that these two men, cameraman, what the hell are you doing? Okay, that was kind of weird. Wow, cameraman, you are an idiot. Well, anyway, here we have the Great Khali, and the man that just entered is Exceeding Shadow, part of the Sovereign LPers, the group I just told you about. At the start of this particular video, as well as every video from here on out. But yeah, the Sovereign LPers, they debuted, and even though Shadow lost, you know, for his team, well, actually he didn't lose, it's just that he was beaten during his match, his debut match, with the other Sovereign LPers, with Dragon Ball and with Jazawatoad. Jazawatoad would go on to become the sole survivor of that match. So in a sense, Shadow won the match. He just wasn't among the survivors. But now, If he can somehow get rid of the Great Khali, he will have himself his first championship opportunity, but that's if he can do it. Then again, you know, against the Great Khali, especially in a match like this, it's going to be very hard to get him over the top rope, but of course, with an angry giant, you have to expect the worst. And a body slam onto Exceeding Shadow, and Shadow's not doing too good, but oh my god, look at the strength of the Great Khali. I mean, he's just picking him up like he's nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong, Shadow, excuse me, weighs about, what, 265 pounds? And the Great Khali weighs anywhere between, like, what, 430 pounds? And that's just because he's a giant. But nonetheless, though, I mean, he picked him up like he was nothing and used the size of his frame, his 7-foot frame, to pick him up and just drop him. And then he just let gravity do the rest. And another a front Nelson slam, or full Nelson slam, excuse me, onto Exceeding Shadow. And thrown over the top rope is Shadow. And Shadow is in trouble here. So, I mean, you have the two men that drew the two best numbers, number 9 and number 10. Number 9 is the Great Khali, and number 10 is Shadow, Exceeding Shadow. So these two are relatively fresh, so it's going to take a while for a winner to be decided here. And Shadow fighting back. But against the Great Khali, I mean, the Great Khali is ruthless. And then a clothesline onto the Great Khali. Now let's see if Shadow can do something. And now look at this. Oh my god, that shoulder backbreaker onto Exceeding Shadow. And then a power slam onto Shadow. And now Shadow, look at this. Oh no, wait a minute. Countered into a DDT onto the Great Khali. And now whipped into the corner. Oh, nice hammerlock onto the Great Khali. Oh, but the Great Khali's not... Uh-oh, look at this. Khali Bomb. Khali Bomb onto Shadow. And Khali just pulling the hamstrings of... Uh-oh, Shadow, it looked like he was getting up. And a massive headbutt onto Shadow, and that busted him open. Oh, but then Shadow comes back with a clothesline. Now he picks up the Great Khali. Oh, and rammed into the post, or into the turnbuckle with authority. And then a tie-up, but obviously it's going to the Great Khali. Oh, and then an elbow right to the head. And now the Great Khali's one man away from getting himself a championship match. And out goes Shadow. I mean, Shadow, he probably would have stood a much better chance against someone other than the Great Khali, but the Great Khali just proved to be too much, as the Great Khali probably... I have a feeling that the Great Khali is going to want to go up against anybody that he feels he can beat with relative ease, and why shouldn't he? I mean, he won. And as for Shadow, I mean, he took a huge beating. I mean, most of these guys took a huge beating. But, and then there's LP Grotus, who sadly just I don't know. It's just he's been on a losing streak, but I hope at some point he gets back. But for the Great Khali, either later tonight or on the next show, whenever he wants, he will get himself a title shot. But only time will tell. Until then, stay tuned. We got more matches coming up right after this.